Okay, so we are live, and today we've got a battle report for you. I'm playing against myself because, well, I haven't played in a while, and I haven't had time to organize someone to play again. Play against. I'm getting tongue-tied already. So I figured better play a game against myself than no game at all. So today we're playing Orks and Grey Knights, 1,000 points. We're using the objective cards for objectives. I've got the lists all set up here. They're in the description. I'm not going to bother going over them because if you really want to see what's in our lists, then, well, they're in the description. Check them out. It's awesome. Also, speaking of awesome things, check out the Terrain Vault. It's going to have a whole bunch of stuff coming up really soon, as well as some really exciting things coming into the new financial year when that happens. So, enough of me yammering along. Let's get started, but before we get into that, if you want to improve your wargaming, make your tabletop battles more epic, and give your wargaming budget more power, subscribe, smash the bell so that you get notified when we go live, and, well, yeah, do all of that stuff. It'll be awesome. Let's get started. Yeah, as soon as I can get this camera to stop trying to tip over. And it's still trying to tip over. It's trying very hard to tip over. This is going to be fun. Got the dice tray going. Be sure to join in on the chat. It's going to be mad. So, let's get started. So this is the table we are playing on today. I figured since we're only doing 1,000 points, smaller table, I've set it up in a hammer and anvil arrangement, 9 inches from the center, 6 inches from the side, deployment zones. Let's get started. So I think the first place to start is let's decide who's going to deploy first. So we'll do green dice can be the Orks, black is Grey Knights. Highest gets to Grey Knights deploy first. Seems fair. So what to start with for the Grey Knights? Well, that's a good question. Let's start by deploying our dreadiest naughtiest somewhere where he can't be spotted because he has psychic powers that fix the line of sight issue. So I reckon he'll go really well right about there. I think that's a perfect spot for him. So now, just to counter deploy a unit of Orks, get around here. Let's start with the truck. So, truck, where are you gonna go? I think, well, the truck's, man, the way I've set this up, this is not going to be easy for this truck. Let's just put the truck right here and try and get it across this bridge as quickly as possible so that we don't, like, bottleneck ourselves. Which, again, I've set the table up for bottlenecking, but at least I've got 2 bridges this time. So that's an improvement. So, now, another Grey Knight unit. I think for my next Grey Knight unit will be, let's put the Dread Knight into reserve to deep strike in later. I think that's a sensible thing to do. Now, back to Orks. So, I think next the Orks are going to deploy think next we're going to put down our Deathcopters. I do like Deathcopters. The Deathcopters can fall off of their bases. And now I've got to get it back on the base. Lovely. There. Three Deathcopters are in play. The Grey Knights, I'm not going to go around to the other side of the table again. One of the strike squads going into reserves. Next, let's put down our tank busters. And there's a squad of boys in that truck, by the way. Yeah, let's put the tank busters down right here, and they can climb across that pipe. And then for the Grey Knights, we'll put the other strike squad into reserve. That seems like a fairly sensible thing to do. Actually, no. We'll put the Apothecary into reserve instead, I think. Yeah. Sounds like a great move. Yeah, let's put down some looters. Looters can go in here behind this pipe. Great spot for looters. They can get some cover. They can explode when the pipe goes up. That'll be fun. Seven looters, nicely positioned. So now we need to actually start putting some Grey Knights down, because that's 3 units in reserve. So let's go grab one of those strike squads. Not strike squads, interceptor squads. I knew what I meant. Let's put... Actually, we'll put the Apothecary in reserve. So, yeah, no. We will put one of those strike squads down. We'll put one strike squad over here on objective number 5 in amongst all of these generators so that they can get a bit of cover. And hindsight being what it is, I probably shouldn't have kitted everyone out with incinerators. But we'll be fine. I mean, nothing will actually, the Orks will probably get nice and close very quickly. Or it might be tricky for them, because the jump is going to cause issues. So let's put some more Orks down. Next, let's put down the squad of Ard Boyz. They, and already snapping stuff off. Bye-bye banner. Ard Boyz can go down here. So many boys. They're so odd. And they do love looting things. Because they're Deathskulls. And they're very lucky. And they don't want to stay upright either. There we go. Now I suppose we can start putting some interceptors down. put a unit of interceptors right here. We'll just hide them in the back here. And the Justicar with a hammer for this squad is this guy who's pointing. That makes sense, somehow. I need to get more hammers. Now for some orcs. Let's do a really quick orc to put down. Boom. Warboss. And we'll put the... And I'm dropping stuff again. We'll put this unit here. Yep, that's behind the line. Okay, so that's all of the Grey Knights deployed. Let's go finish off deploying the Orks. So what we've got left is a Weirdboy who's going to go here. And then a squad of Shoota boys. Who I think can go... They can go in behind the truck, since there's not a lot of space left for them. We'll just put the camera down there so that I can deploy these a bit quicker. Okie dokie. So, all deployed. Last squad of boys in the truck. Done. So, now, since the Grey Knights deployed, we'll finish deploying first. The Orks are going to attempt to seize. So on a 6, we're going to seize the initiative and go first. That's a 2. So, not seizing. So, we're going to do Grey Knights turn 1. Okie dokie. I'll just grab these back. So first things first, I suppose, is what are our 5 objectives to start the game going to be? So, just like the last couple of battle reports, I've got cards going. So, first objective, honor the chapter. And I've just shuffled my stratagems into my tactical objectives. That's a funny blunder. Lovely. So now I just need to go through and sort the stratagems out. I forgot the stratagems were in the pack of cards. So we'll just get some actual objectives, I think, rather than stratagems. I thought that seemed like a weird objective. Okay, now for an actual objective. Psychological warfare. Score 1 victory point if your opponent Fail the morale test. Good luck. Then you get D3 if they failed 3. We also have overwhelming firepower. So destroy one enemy unit for 1 point in a single turn. Destroy 3 to get D3. Domination. Hold all the objective markers to get D3 plus 3. Priority orders received. When this tactical objective is generated, immediately generate a bonus tactical objective. This does not count towards the number of active tactical objectives you currently have in play. Warlord is the only unit that can be used to achieve the bonus tactical objective. They must be... They must be the only unit used to control the objective marker. Okay, well, I guess it's a good thing that my Warlord is a huge Dread Knight. So let's see what our bonus objective is. Okay, so my Warlord needs to score Big Game Hunter. So I need to destroy something with 10 or more wounds. 20 or more, which doesn't exist. So I got to basically use my Warlord to destroy that truck. So there's our bonus objective. So we've got another 2 objectives to draw. Assassinate. So score 1 victory point if you kill a character. Or D3 if you kill 3 or more characters. Okay, well they only have 2 characters, so we're only getting 1 point for that. And Rites of Exorcism. When this tactical objective is generated, your opponent must select an objective marker. If you control that objective marker at the end of any turn, score 1. If you control that objective marker at the end of the turn in which it was generated, you get 3. So the Orks are going to choose objective marker. Yeah, objective marker 4. The Orks are going to choose because 6 would be really easy to get, and etc. So I'll just put a 4 on that, so that I know that that's objective marker 4. So there are our tactical objectives, and we'll just put them off to the side. So I've got to take control of objective marker 4. Good luck with all those Orks there. It's not happening turn 1. It's just not going to happen. So let's move into the movement phase, and I just got to remember where I put that blasted tape measure. Here it is. Okay, so let's do some moving. Well, I suppose I want to start taking some objectives. So we are playing with the lava is dealing mortal wounds to any model that crosses it as well. And it's on a 4-up if something flies crosses it, rather than just automatically. So the first thing I'm going to do is bump the camera. I'm going to move this unit of interceptors up to here. They won't cross yet because they don't need to, and they can't really. What else to move? You're within 3 inches of that objective, so you guys can stay there. Well, all my objectives really are to start taking objective markers and wiping out orcs as quickly as possible. So I think I'm just going to nudge these ones forward so that they're, well, these interceptors forward so that they're all in cover. Because I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of orc firepower coming in very shortly. And I want to wait for turn 2 for my Grey Knights that are in reserves to drop. So let's move into the psychic phases next. No, is it psychic or shooting? See, this is what happens when you don't play for ages. You forget the order of things. Psychic phase is next. At least I'm not forgetting my psychic phase this time, which is nice. So, let's do some psychic powering. First and most obvious one to do is, of course, on my Venerable Dreadnought, is to cast, what's it called? Astral Aim. So I need a 5 up to cast Astral Aim. Well, 4 up, really, because they're Grey Knights. And I roll a 3. So we're not Astral Aiming, which absolutely sucks because I can't really draw line of sight with this huge boulder in the way. So, yeah, I guess we'll command point that, since I really want to start dealing some damage to that truck. And then I have to have my Warlord take it out. So I'll command point that. We'll just put a dice up. Command points in red, so that bumps me down to 3 command points, because I had 4 to start with. I think. Yeah, it puts me down to 3. Off memory, you have 3 plus 1 for that detachment, so that puts me down to 3. Let's re-roll that anyway. Damn it. I'm really bad at rolling today. Well, oh well. Not much I can do about that. What other psychic powers did I take that I could use next? And they weren't strike squads, they're purifier squads. Get it right, Jono. Nothing's in range for any other psychic powers, so moving on to the shooting phase. Let's have a look and see if our Dreadnought can see anything. No, it really can't. Can't see anything. I really needed that Astral Aim. And everything else is 24-inch range, so everything should be out of range at the moment. Yep, that's out of range. Ooh, okay. Stormbolters are going to open fire on the Tank Buster Boys. So 2 shots each from 4 Stormbolters into the Tank Busters. So 8 shots. 2, 4, 6, 8. Hitting on 3s. Well, that was better. Where was that roll when I needed it? And then toughness 4, strength 4, so 4s to wound. 4 wounds. And then armor save of 6 on tank busters. Yeah, I mean, they're orcs. Of course they're 6. I will just double check to make sure, because I do not trust my memory. Yeah, of course it's 6. So 6 up saves. Well, they saved 1. And yeah, tank busters have but a single wound each. That's 3 dead tank busters. Take them from the back. Tank busters are down to 2. Orcs are taking casualties. And I think, I had psychological warfare, didn't I? So, that should be doable to get someone to fail a morale check. That'll be great. What else can I shoot? Dreadnought couldn't see anything. Everything else was out of range. Nothing can assault. So that's the end of Grey Knights turn 1. Let's go move some orcs. So this is where things get really, really fun. But before we move some orcs, let's draw some objectives for the orcs, because they should probably have some objectives to achieve. And this time, let's not mix in our objectives with our stratagems. That'd be smart, wouldn't it? Why am I doing it then if it'd be smart? Okay, objective number 1, big game hunter. Dreadnought has now just become a target. How do we both get big game hunter? Huh. Well, and assassinate. So looks like they're going to be going for my 2 characters, actually. I have 2 characters. Secure objective 4. Well, isn't that easy for the orcs, given that they need to hold it anyway? Secure objective 3. Where's objective 3? Objective 3 is on the other bridge, as you can see. But you probably can't actually see it, because it's distance from the camera. And finally, here we go. Wah! Score points, 1 point if 3 or more orc units charge this turn. D3 if 5 or more orcs charge. Well, those are all very achievable, as opposed to the Grey Knights objectives, which are less achievable. So let's do some moving. So let's start by moving the truck across the bridge. So move it across the bridge. And then, oh, I forgot to do a morale check on those orcs, which I needed to do. So I'm going to do it now because I need to remember this stuff. And if I don't do it, I'll forget. So, I need to roll below their leadership of 2 tank busters who have a leadership of 6. Isn't that a fantastic leadership to have? So their leadership is 6, but I have to add 3 to this dice roll of 4. So that's 7. Difference of 1, meaning 1 flees, and the Grey Knights achieve that objective. So 1's fled, and the Grey Knights achieved that objective, which was psychological warfare, but they only did it to 1. So that's something. So we'll just put the card up there, just so that I remember I've scored that objective. Don't need those out anymore either. And there's one lonely little tank buster. Poor tank buster. So, now the Deathcopters. Can they move across there in 1 turn? Yes. Deathcopters are going to move across. They each need to roll a d6, and on a 4 or higher, they suffer a mortal wound. Because lava. 1 mortal wound on the Deathcopters. Putting one of the Deathcopters down to less wounds. So much. So that puts one of them down to 3 wounds. Not actually that bad. And then I can move them across. So one at the back can be on 3 wounds. Yeah, and he came off of his stand once again. Fix that up. I have a hunch that's going to be a recurring theme with that Deathcopter. Maybe magnetizing them would be a great idea. Okay, 3 Deathcopters moved across. Excellent. These guys can stay still. But these guys at the back here are going to move up onto this ramp. Or bridge, whatever you want to call it. There's a ramp here. So, now I have to remember, do boys move 5 or 6? I'm pretty sure it's 6, but I'm just going to double check. How wrong was I? It's 5. They move at Necron speeds. So, moving the boys. Yeah, they only made it onto the ramp. So, I wasn't wrong. And just slide the rest of them across. What's the range on? I think the looters are range 36. And they should be under heavy support. Yes. Def gun. 48. They're even better than I thought they were. That's fantastic. So they can just stay there. That's fine. Let's move... Oh, and I keep catching that. Let's move our one little thingy, little guy up here. He can just go up there. He'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen to him? Actually, probably better we don't answer that question. For him, at least. It'll be much more entertaining for us to answer that question. But for now, we want to do... Now, if I do to jump, does that mean I have to deep strike in my own, but they're not coming in from reserve? You know what? I'm going to allow him to do the jump now, outside of my deployment zone. If I'm wrong, put a comment in the live chat, or in the comments below if you're watching this and it's not live. One or the other. If I'm wrong, please correct me. What we're going to do to jump, we need a warp charge value of 7. So, come on, 7. That's a 10. We're doing to jump. So, I'm pretty sure I can cast it on 1 unit. Yes, 1. So I'm going to cast it on the Ard Boyz, who are then going to jump somewhere else. And by somewhere else, I mean right there. Right next to the power core. And yeah, right over there. Seems like a great spot for it. So I'll just leave the camera there for now and pick up all of the Ard Boyz. And I'll drop one, because why not? I wouldn't recommend dropping your miniatures though. Not a great idea, but you can if you really want to. It's a good way to chip paint, especially if you have pewter miniatures. And we'll just set them up right in the middle of the lava. We're not setting them up in the middle of the lava. That's silly. Yeah, that's easily that far away. It's basically up to this bridge we can set up. So we'll set them up there. I do like to jump. And yeah, if I got that wrong and I technically wasn't allowed to do that, please correct me. Because I couldn't be bothered looking it up at the moment. And I'd like to be corrected when I'm wrong. That way, I can stop being wrong. So many people seem to take offense when you correct them when they're wrong, but it's a really bad trait to take offense to being corrected, because if you're not corrected, you continue to be wrong. And there we go, dropping more boys. Don't drop your miniatures. It ruins the beautiful paint job on them, and you shouldn't do it. So, Ard Boyz are now in place. What else do we have to move? That was Psychic Phase. We've finished moving. So now, we're going to do some shooting. And you know what? We're playing orcs. The first thing that we should shoot is, of course, the looters, which get... I'm just going to bring the orc book over this side, actually. And my camera's going to try and flop all over the place. Need to get a better tripod for it. So I seem to need the orc book over this side. So, looters. They are awesome. They like to loot things. They will loot all of the things. So we're firing heavy D3. They stayed still, so they're still hitting on a 5-up. That's terrible. They get D3 shots each. So I'll just put that book there. That can go right there. Okay, so D3 shots each. So they get 2 shots each. There are 7 of them, so that means they get 14 shots. There's 4. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So of course, the looters are going to shoot at that squad of interceptors over there. Hitting on 5s. There's like 1 5 in there. Really? Well, they are orcs, I suppose. Are we surprised by this? Mildly, yes. And very disappointed. But we're strength 7, so at least we're wounding on 3s. That's a wound. And then we're AP -1, so at least we're negating their cover. So 3-up save. And they saved it. Lovely. Shoota boys will be out of range. Actually, no. The Shoota boys might not be out of range. I think the shooters are 18 inches. Then the big shooter is more inches. Yes, big shooter is 36 inch range. So maybe our big shooter's not out of range, and it can actually, you know, hit some stuff. Okay, no. Have some stuff in range. I'm not going to suggest for even a moment that orcs can actually hit something. Look, they are in range. Fantastic. And you didn't see that, but I measured it and they're in range. So, they get 3 shots each. For a total of 6. Hitting on 5s. Except not 5s, because they actually need 6s, as their heavy weapons... actually, no, big shields are assault. I think the moral of this game so far is I need to play orcs more often. They are assault. So, hitting on 5s. That's 1. It's something. Strength 5. That's 2. That's nothing. Okie dokie. What's the range on my tank buster? Tank busters are elites, I believe. Tank busters range 24 inches. Anything in range of this tank buster? Yes! Tank buster is just barely in range of the interceptor squad. Which is fun, because at least the tank buster is going to get to do something now. So, 1 shot, hitting on a 5. That's a 5. So that's a hit. Strength 8, so wounding on a 2. That's a 1. Yep, that was a 1. That was disappointing. We're not going to get to make any charge as this turn, are we? No. Oh, actually, we'll get to make 1 charge. So, let's see if we can get a successful charge off. So, the squad of Ard Boyz is going to charge the squad of interceptors. So if we're going to charge this squad of interceptors, we need at least a 9 to get in. So let's see if we get a 9 and get in. That's a 10. So that means that they actually do, in fact, make it. And we get to see some carnage. $10. Yep, that makes it in. And they're just going to kind of like run. A couple of them are going to go over the bridge. Some of them are going to go under it. Are they all going to make it into combat? Not even slightly. But that's okay, because they're orcs. They just like chopping stuff, and I probably should have shot their sluggers, but I totally forgot about their sluggers. Not that their sluggers would have done very much at all. So, I'm pretty sure that they fight. And I just got to remember how assaults work. Okay, you choose the unit, then you pile in. So that's a successful charge. So now the orcs are going to fight first. So they're going to do their... Thank you very much, Jacob. It was a good charge roll. But being orcs, even if they did fail it, I have like orky stuff to deal with that. So now they're going to pile in up to 3 inches. You're just going to kind of try and mash in there and bang some heads. Get you in there. Piling in with the orcs. Wah! go. I can't even tell where the Grey Knights stop and the Orks begin. Not looking good for these Grey Knights at this point in time. It's really not looking good. Although, to be fair, this was kind of weighted in the Orks' favour from the get-go. Actually, yes and no. So, how many of them are within an inch of someone in base contact? So, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in base contact. And then basically the next 2 rows back from them are in because they're 25mm bases, which is just under an inch. So we've got... Let's just start with the Klaw. So the boss knob gets a whole bunch of attacks. I think the boss knob gets 3 attacks. So yeah, our boss knob's getting 3, everyone else is getting 2 attacks. But they've got choppers, so they get an additional attack. So everyone gets 3 attacks. So the boss knob's claws, which are hitting at -1 because it's a claw, are these black dice that I have here. And then our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I've got 9 others. So that's 3 from each of them. So now for some maths. And we find out that the answer to what is 3 times 9 is an incredible 27. So we need 27 dice. Well, there's 3. That's a place to start. There's another 3. There's another 3. So that's 3 threes. 4 threes. 5 threes. 6 threes. 7 threes. 8 threes. And 9 threes. And by my maths, if you take 9 lots of 3, you should have 9 lots of 3. So let's roll all of those and see how many of them hit. Now, Orks are much better at close combat than they are at shooting, which is fantastic. So, our black dice are hitting on 4s, everything else is hitting on 3s, and of course, 2 of the black dice miss. What a surprise. But then we are forgetting something else, because they're a unit of Orks with more than 10, which means I'm pretty sure off memory they get some extra attacks. Yeah, I could have re-rolled my charge. No, they don't get extra attacks, do they? Yes, they get green tide. So it had 20 or more, so they should have gotten, well, an extra 9 attacks. Plus another one for the claw. So let's roll those now. So, yep, another claw hits, and then we need another 9. With any... There we go. That's better. Correct number, rolling the correct number of attacks is always a good thing to do. So, now, the claws are they're double their toughness is the important bit. I think it's either 8 or 9, but it's double, that's the important bit. So, the regular attack's going to wound on 4s, claws are wounding on 2s. And one of the claws fails. And the other ones we need 4s. Okay, so So now I need to check up on what the... So a Power Claw is -3 AP, bringing their armor to 6. And then the rest, they get regular 3-up armor. So that's 1. And then the rest are regular 3-up armor. So remove all the ones that are 3 or higher. And unfortunately, that means the squad of interceptors is simply wiped out. Poor interceptors. Well, that was brutal. Moral of the story, maybe small squad's not the best idea, but I wanted more psychic powers off. So it was a great idea at the time. It just, they got a lucky charge and then killed everyone. Oh, poor Grey Knights. But enough reminiscing. They now get to, like, consolidate, which I still think is a thing. Even though I'm about to find out that it's probably not a thing. It is a thing. They can now go 3 inches towards the closest enemy, which of course is this dreadnought. Not a dreadnought, it's a dreadnought. So they're just going to kind of pile over this way. Trip over each other. Probably die a bit in the process. There we go, they just kind of pile that way. Excellent. So, that was the end of the Orks, and there's no morale checks to take because they just wiped the squad out entirely. So let's go and have a look at our objectives and see if we scored any. I think I did. I'm pretty sure I scored objective 4. Boom, there's an objective 4. That was only one charge that I made. I left objective 3, but don't worry, we'll get that before too long. Big game hunter, no. Assassinate, no. So we scored 1 objective. So the game is currently tied. Although the Orks have an advantage because they wiped out a huge chunk of the Grey Knights that are on the table. So let's go into Grey Knights turn 2 and do that. So I don't get to draw anymore because I'm holding 5, although I'm pretty sure I'm meant to discard 1 now. Yeah, well, since we're discarding 1, let's discard Domination. Since I think holding all 3 objectives is going to be fairly challenging to do. So let's just get rid of Domination, since I'm only allowed to have 4 objectives now. And if that's wrong, someone tell me. As always, if I do something wrong, just tell me. Okay, so now we are going to do some moving, and then we will do some deep striking. Okay. So I need objective 4, good luck. I need to start doing some serious damage. So let's take this unit and jump them. They can go over here. And then I need to roll 5d6 to see how many of them die in the lava. Okay, so any 4-up and we lose a guy. We lost 3 of them to the lava. Ouch! That hurt. Ooh, maybe jumping them across was a bad idea. Well, not that it makes much sense for them to lose some, but that is the rule. I think I'll take the... Yeah, I think the incinerator, although they're toughness 5, those bikes. We'll leave the incinerator and we'll take the 3 halberds. How about that? Most unfortunate, because we've nearly lost all of our interceptors. But we've got 2 more left under there. They'll charge those soon. They can stay there. That dreadnought's feeling very uncomfortable, but it's going to hold its position. So now let's do some deep striking. Let's start by attempting to take out that truck. Need to be 9 inches away from it. So we're going to jump in right here and hold this bridge. I think that's a good spot for it to deep strike in. Then we've got another Purifier squad and an Apothecary to jump in. So let's go and put the Apothecary and our Purifier squad. Let's put them just in behind here. I think. Just make sure inches or more away. Just need to nudge him back a bit. Just put him there. And we'll put the other Purifier squad there as well. There we go. We've got our Purifier squad in there. Sweet. So now all the Grey Knights are on the table. Now onto the Psychic phase. And let's try and get our Dreadnought to actually use its Psychic power this turn. Because I want to start doing some damage to that truck. Although actually, our Dreadnought should probably be able to take down the truck fairly effortlessly with its Psy Cannon and Silencer. Since I can see these boys, we'd kill 2 with the las cannon. Well, it's got a missile launcher, so I'm sure I could fire that off for some nice damages. So I think, off memory, the missile launcher does have a mode that it can do that. Yeah, it can fire a frag missile. Yeah, let's do that. So the Dreadnought is simply going to... I'm going to turn this camera around. So our Dreadnought's going to cast Smite. That's a 4, which is what I need because they're Grey Knights. So Smite is happening. So we're going to smite them. And they're just like, smite me, mighty smiter. No, they don't say that. They're orcs. They're just like, wah. So, That's one of them dead then. Pop. That's one less orc to deal with. It's something, I suppose. And then we're going to fire D6 frag missiles into the boys, because there's a tunnel under this rock that he can see them through. 3. So 3 missiles, 2 las cannon shots into the boys. Blues are las cannons, and it's a venerable dreadnought, so it's hitting on 2s. So they all hit. And then 4s on the greens, 2s on the las cannons. So that's 2 wounds. One of them goes straight through. The other one you get a save against. That's a fail. So that's 2 more dead boys. That was kind of pitiful. I almost feel bad for the Grey Knights at this point. Okay. Yeah. So, lesson of this so far. Leaving that gap open at the back for the Orks to deep strike in, very bad move. Very, very bad move. Because they've done that, and I mean, with the lava there was less room for them to deep strike in as well, so that should have been hard for them to do, but I left it open. That was really dumb. Don't do that again. Okay, so next thing to shoot with. Let's shoot the Deathcopters with the Incinerator and the Stormbolter that's under the bridge. So, D6 auto hits on the Incinerator. It's 2. And then 4 shots from a Stormbolter. They all hit. Now, my Incinerator is strength 5 off memory. But I will double check that, because I do not trust my memory, because it is dumb. It's strength 6, so yes, my memory is very dumb. So, what is the toughness of those Deathcopters is the next question. Deathcopters, where are they? It'd be nice if they were easy to find. There they are, they're toughness 5. So at least my Incinerator is wounding 3s, the Stormbolter's wounding on 5s. So that's 2 wounds. And then saves on Deathcopters are 4+. Lucky, lucky Deathcopters. Well, they saved 1. So that's fortunate for them, I suppose. Although they can like do a thing where they can. What's Deathskulls culture again? Does it apply here? I don't remember. I forget stuff. Especially when you don't play the game for months. Re-roll 1 for attacks made from your... What? No, that's Opportunist. Where's the culture? Boys, we've lost the culture. Cultures. Deathskulls. They get a 6 up in Vuln. So, I mean, yeah, doesn't change it. So that's 1 wound against them, so that puts the back down to 2. It's something. Then we have a whole bunch of, like, Stormbolters rapid firing in the back here. like 4 of them. Hitting on 3s. There's one over there. Yep, that's 1 hit. And then wounding on 5s. There's 3, 4, 5. 5 wounds, 4 up saves. So that's another 3 wounds against the Deathskulls. So that's 1 dead, 1 down to 3 wounds. Bye bye, Deathskulls. You have a cool name, but you still died. I'm going to grab a drink real quick. There, drink time's over. And now, for what we've all been waiting for. Yes, we all know what's about to happen. It's going to be fantastic. We need this Dread Knight to destroy that truck. And it's going to do it with its Psy Cannon and Gatling Silencer. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to murder it so dead. Because the Gatling Silencer is firing 12 shots at D3 damage apiece. And the Psy Cannon is firing 6 shots that do 7 damage. It's going to be great. It's going to be the best shooting phase, possibly, of all shooting phases ever. That was a terrible Trump impersonation. So the blue dice are the Psy Cannon, green dice are the Silencer, hitting on 3s because it is a Grandmaster Dread Knight. So, let's just get rid of those that are not 3s or higher. And then that truck is like toughness 7 or some nonsense, even though it looks like it should be about toughness -7. Looks like it's about to fall apart. Where's the page for trucks in this book? Okay, no, seriously, where is the page? There's the page for trucks. It's toughness 6. So not quite -7, but, you know, we're still going to hurt it a lot. Gatling Silencer's wounding on 5s. Psy Cannon's wounding on 3s. That sucked. 1 Silencer hit. Which means we're not destroying the truck this turn unless I get a successful charge, which would be amazing. But, well, what's the truck save? It's like 6 or something. Yes? 4 up save. So -1 on the heavy Psy Cannon. Cocked. Okay, so -1 on the heavy Psy Cannon, which means the Psy Cannon ones all go through, but the Silencer failed. So that's 6 wounds. That was actually disappointing. But that's a straight up 6 wounds, putting it down to 4 wounds. Which is excellent news, because it means I only have to get 1 dice out to put on it, to mark that it's only got a wee little 4 wounds remaining. And it's going to have to get stomped by the Dread Knight. He's going to have to actually go in there and stomp it now. Yeah. Well. Since they're here, these Grey Knights are going to try and shoot these boys. 24-inch range. Knock the camera. I think I accidentally took a photo as well. So the front two are in range. So that's 2 4 shots. And the camera keeps tipping over because there's a huge battery on the side of it. Hitting on 3s, so 3 hits. Wounding on 4s, 1 wound. And then they get cover as well. So that takes their 4-up armor save to a 3-up. Because they're Ard Boyz. And they're Ard. So I think, yeah, Ard Boyz have a 4-up save, don't they? Ard Boyz are awesome. Mainly because of the mispronunciation of, where is it? No, it's changed to 5-up. Used to be 4, it's 5-up. It's still crap. But it's a 5-up save, which they fail. So, we finally killed off an Ard Boy. Okay, it's not the first Ard Boy that got killed off. But, we killed off another Ard Boy. It's something. Well, that's all of the shootings done. So now we're going to do some chargings. So the what's it called? Interceptor squad underneath the cargo crates is going to charge the Deathcopters for glory. Yep, they're definitely in. So the Deathcopters are going to do their thing where they go pew 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 back. Overwatch, that's what it's called. Overwatch. They're going to pew pew back. Now I just got to find the Deathcopter page to find out how many shots we are firing with our copter rockets. We're firing 4 shots of copter rockets. And you know what? While we're at it, we're also going to fire the 2 sluggers in Overwatch. So the blue ones are sluggers, the greens are copter rockets. We need 6s to hit. We hit with a slugger and a copter rocket. It's something, and if those 2 remaining interceptors die from this, it's going to be very sad. Copter rockets are strength 8, AP -2. The slugger is a slugger. So green's slugger, blue's copter rocket. The slugger does nothing. The copter rocket, on the other hand, kills one of them. Actually, no, they do get a 5-up save. But he almost kills them. Okay, yeah, he killed it. Definitely killed it. So we're just going to take the incinerator. That's very sad. That leaves 1 left. But at least our Justicar with his hammer, that's not a hammer, that is actually a hammer, made it to close combat. So now if we have another charge, because this Dread Knight needs to make it into close combat with this truck to blow it up. It has to happen before the truck charges someone else to die on purpose. So, the truck is going to fire back, because you're supposed to fire back before. It has the most awesome weapon ever created by Orks, the big Shoota. It makes lots of noise. It's literally just this guy here yelling as loud as possible. But we hit with 1 of them. And then we need a 5 to wound. That's a 3. So there's no wounds. That's fine though. Let's see if our Dread Knight can make it to close combat, and if it fails, I'm just going to die a little bit inside. It failed. I really want to command point that, because I really want to get in close combat with it. Because I need a 9 to get to close combat with that truck. Which means I would need to roll a 7 if I were to re-roll 1. So we can't actually achieve that with 2 2s. So he's not made into close combat, which is entirely lame. Well, that was interesting, to say the least. Now for Ork's turn 2. Because we are quickly running out of time. We have all of 40 minutes left to be finished. Because, yeah, we only had 2 hours. So, let's go and finish this off. Oh, and I should check objectives. Did I score any objectives? Probably not. Didn't assassinate anyone. Didn't take objective 4. Did we kill an enemy unit? No, we haven't actually killed any enemy units. So we don't even have overwhelming firepower. And we don't have big game hunter yet. Okay, so Orks. They need to have 4 objectives at the beginning of this turn. They have 4 objectives to get. Perfect. Oh, actually, no. It's not the end of Grey Knight's turn yet, because the Grey Knights still have to attack. So let's do that. So my Justakar is going to swing his banhammer at the Deathcopters. Both hit. Where was that roll when I charged? I needed that roll for my charge. Strength 8 against the toughness of the Deathcopters 5, so I need 3s to wound. It's something, and I need to reduce that to 1 too. So AP minus a lot. It's like 3 or 4. Either way, they're not getting a save. So that's D6 damage now, I believe. I will double check though. It's either D6 or D3. I can never remember. N for Nemesis. There it is. It's just a flat 3 damage. Cool. We can work with that because that kills one of the Deathcopters. Boop. Well, with that killing a Deathcopter, that only leaves 1. Let's see if it flees, because if it does, then I get to score overwhelming firepower somehow. So it's taken 2, so we need to add 2 to this roll and see if we can get below the Deathcopter's leadership of 6. 3, that's 5. He's not going nowhere. So now we can do some orky stuff. Wah! Orks is best. So now let's move some orks. So I want to deny the Grey Knights the privilege of destroying that truck. So I'm going to offload the boys from it. And they're going to go on a bit of a suicide mission. Just to keep the Dread Knight busy. Because if the truck dies from anyone who is not that Dread Knight, then that means that the Grey Knights don't score that objective. Yep, they're all within 3 inches. So they're just going to offload there for a moment. And then, let's move the truck, because I know exactly what we're doing with this truck now, which is actually moving quite slow now because it's down to 4 wounds. Silly truck. It's now moving all of 5 inches. So it's going to kind of just move here. And it's been caught up in the tank traps. Now, I think the rulebook actually has a rule for tank traps. Let's just double check it. And let's see how many times I can say tank traps before everyone goes insane. I'm already going a little bit batty just saying it now. Oh, so it's just slowed by them. It doesn't take damage. But its distance is halved. So we get to move it all of 3 inches, actually. So it, you know, barely rolls down the hill. So it should actually be about there. Yeah, well, let's just say that that Ork driver is a little bit insane. Given that he's almost running over his friends there with the spiky wheels. And I think he bopped someone on the head with the wrecking ball too. But that's a moot point. Back to moving. Yeah, camera won't stay still. Let's just move this one tank buster. And the tank buster has a new target. Let's move the boss up there. Let's move the Shoota boys further along on this bridge. And just rotate that objective so that it so that he doesn't fall off the bridge. Yeah. Not that this is going to matter in a moment, because I'm going to be teleporting or de-jumping these boys in a moment anyway. But just in case that fails, correction, when that fails, because what are the odds that I actually succeed in that endeavor twice in a row? And you know what? Let's move those boys. Just to make the charge a little bit easier. You know what, some of them can run through underneath here as well. Some of them can go up over the top, although they're actually underneath. It's just their spiky bits make it difficult to place them underneath. There we go. Is it in... That Dreadnought's just in danger. I'm in danger. Okay, so with the moving done, let's go into the psychic phase. And you know what? Since the jump worked so well last time, let's cast it again. We need a 7. And we'll cast it on the Shoota boys. That's a 9. So we are doing the jump. And this is a very sad, sad day for the Grey Knights, because the Orks are casting more psychic powers than this army of psychers. What is wrong with the Grey Knights today? And I know exactly where they're going. They're going to go right there. Have to be 9 inches away from them, though. Which puts us right here. And everybody do the flop. You know what? The Orks are doing so well today. I think that my Weirdboy... I mean, the Grey Knights are trying to get revenge on the Weirdboy that literally looted one of their brothers. And why will these guys not stand up? They're not doing a great job of getting revenge. Games Workshop, if you're watching this, I think this is proof that the Grey Knights need a bit of a buff. Either that or it's proof that I'm really bad at playing Grey Knights. One of the two. Go with it that they need a buff. Let's go with that option. Because obviously, I'm awesome, I'm the best, I never make mistakes. The cliches that are obviously wrong. Oh, and there was another one there. And you can go there. And yeah, the Grey Knights are all very much feeling in danger right now. Okay, well, now on to the shooting phase. And you know what? The first thing that we can do is shoot the Shoota boys at these Grey Knights. At this purgation. Not purgation, they're purifiers this time. So 18 inches on the shooters. They're all in range. Everything is in range. So that's 18 shooters, 2 big shooters. These purifiers are about to have a bad time. As soon as I can find the page. So the shooters are getting 2 shots each. The big shooter gets 3 shots each. Okay. So, big shooters. And then we need, like... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need to just roll all of these dice out so I can find all my green ones. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. As you know what, it turns out I have exactly the correct number of green dice. Keep that in mind for future reference. Me? So, hitting on 5s. And typical Ork shooting, it's terrible. Lots of misses. But that is kind of what happens when you just stand there and make more noise than the guy standing next to you. But we got 4 hits with the big shooter. So that's good, I think. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so big shooter strength 5, regular shooters are strength 4, duh. So we need 3s and 4s. Those ones need 4s, these ones need 3s. Big shooter didn't do squat. Well, it did 1. Shooters have no AP. Big shooters have like -1 AP or something. No, they're no AP. So that's like 3 up saves on the Grey Knight Purifiers. They all passed. So the Purifiers did not... They kind of just pinged all of the plastic bullets that the Orks were shooting at them, pinged off their armor. Although given they were firing plastic bullets, that probably, you know, should have been obvious. Come on, boys. Use some proper bullets. Like, I don't know, lead or something. Whatever bullets are made out of. More shooting. Let us shoot something really fun. Let's fire the Tank Buster at the Dread Knight. And it's probably going to miss. I'm pretty sure I get one shot with a tank buster. If I can find it in here. I can't remember. No, but it's under elites. Tank busters. Yeah, one shot. Rocket launcher. It misses. An orc shooting weapon missing? What a surprise. Okay, so, well, that missed. Big shooter from the truck straight into the Purifier squad that we were firing at earlier, because why not? One hit, it's something. Wounding on 3s, that's nothing. Let's fire some sluggers at the Dread Knight, because why not? So that's 12 sluggers. And watch them all miss, because it's literally just one of those plastic guns with a rod that shoots out with a flag that says bang on it. And I didn't even roll all the dice in the tray. Well, looks like one of them actually had a real bullet in there. So that's something. But that's not enough. It does not wound. It did not, like, hit a kneecap or something. Because this Dread Knight used to be an adventurer, just like you, right until it took a slugger in the knee. But it didn't do that, so that's a silly joke. Doesn't make sense. We've got looters right here behind this pipe. Let's fire the looters at the Dread Knight. So let's see how many shots the looters are firing. They're firing one shot each because they're just trying to make a lot of noise. So 7 shots at the Dread Knight. At least we hit with, you know, some of them. 3 hits, it's better than no hits. And then we're strength 7 on looters, I believe, off memory. I can't remember. Where are my looters? Looters! Yeah, strength 7. Which means against the Dread Knight's toughness of, which is also 7, I believe, but I will double check. It may be 8, or it may be 6. It's probably going to be 6. It is 6, so that means we're wounding on 3s. That hurts. Because that means that's 2 wounds. 2 wounds, AP -1, 3 up save. He's fine. Looter's shots ping off of his kneecaps. It's fine. You've got a Kombi-Skorcha. So we're going to fire the Shoota part of the boss's Kombi-Skorcha at the Dread Knight. Hitting on 5s, that's 1 hit. Wounding on 5s, that's a wound. Save it on a 3, that's saved, that's fine. See, and this is a bit where the tides somewhat turn, because now the Grey Knights come and just stomp stuff. So now, that's the end of the shooting phase. Let's go and do some charge. Wah! What to charge? Let's start by charging the boys over there. Let's just take the camera over there. We'll charge the boys that are over here in Dreadnought. Dreadnought's going to fire back with D6 frag missiles. It's firing 6 of them! It's something. And then 2 las cannons hitting on 6s. It hit with 1 of the missiles, so that's something, which is definitely better than nothing. Oh, an overwhelming firepower we scored. Actually, no, we didn't. Yeah, no, we didn't actually wipe out a unit, so we didn't score that yet. I thought we did. No, we did not. Okay, so, missiles. They're wounding on 3s. No, 4s, because they have strength 4. That's nothing. It's no wounds. Let's see if the Orks charge in. They make it with ease. It's a bad day to be a Dreadnought. Actually, correct that. It's a bad day to be this Dreadnought. Every day is a bad day to be a Dreadnought? Who else is under that? There's one more. There we go. Okay, that's going to be fun. Now, this truck over here is going to charge the purifiers that are off to the side here. Purifiers are going to fire back with all 4 of their incredible storm bolters. They need 6s to hit, and the Orks are secretly hoping that they die. That's a lot of 6s, actually. Why is it when I want them to hit, they don't hit? And when the Grey Knight player, who is also me, wants them to miss, they hit? That's 5 hits. This could very well kill the truck, but we need 5s to wound. So it's unlikely going to happen. Well, there's 1 wound. And incredible 4-up save. It fails. It takes a wound. The truck's now on 3 wounds. Let's see how far it charges. It has to half the charge roll. Remember that because it's tangled up in tank traps. So what's that? That's an 8. So it could move 4. It can charge 4 inches. It's not further enough. Although, even if it did roll a 6, it still would not charge further enough because they're like 9 inches away. So no point in even re-rolling that. Really should have advanced that truck instead of shooting. But we didn't, so oh well. Not much we can do about it now. We're going to charge these boys straight into the Dread Knight, who is going to very much enjoy what's about to happen. Okay, blue is the Psy Cannon, green is the Silencer, 6 is to hit. That was a 6. 4 hits. Wounding on 3s. Yep, and then those are 3 dead boys. 3 dead gits. Okay, well, with those 3 gits dead, let's do some fighting, since there are no more charges to be made. And we have 1 fight to happen. And it's this fight over here with these boys and this Dread Knight. And Dreadnought, not Dread Knight. That's the Dread Knight. Dreadnought's here. That camera's moving again, isn't it? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13 plus the Klaw. So they get one attack. What do boys get? I've forgotten this already. So we'll go to the book, we'll look it up. Boys. They get a 2 attack space plus 1 for the chopper. They're no longer above 20, so they don't get an extra attack for being in a huge mob. So they get 3 attacks. Each boss nob gets 3 attacks. It's going to be fantastic. Boss nob, and then there was 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's wrong because I think I counted 2 numbers twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did not count 2 numbers twice. 11, 12, and 13. Black ones are the Power Claw. Hit with 2 Power Claws, very useful against a Dreadnought. Hitting on 3s with the rest of them. Okay, all of those ones hit. Okay, now, a Dreadnought is toughness 6 off memory, but we will double check. Toughness 7, I was wrong. So, wounding on 5s with the choppers, and I forgot to fire the damn sluggers again. Damn it! And then 3s for the claws. That misses. So we'll just grab all of the 5s and 6s. And 4, so that's fine. We'll get rid of the rest. And then, so these ones have wounded. So let's see how we go with the save on Mr. Dreadius Nautius. The Power Claw one is a 6-up save. The others are 3-up saves. Oh dear. So, pass. That's very much not ideal, because that's 5 wounds, plus, is it 3 or D6 wounds for the Power Claw? Now I just got to find someone. Power Claw. It's D3. So let's see how many wounds it does. 3. So that's a total of 8 wounds. Ouch. That hurts for the Dreadnought, particularly given that it only had 8 wounds to begin with. Which means the Orks just scored Big Game Hunter. No, they didn't, because it only had 8. So no, that's fine. Don't worry. That was wrong. It's not Big Game. But it is dead, and it might explode. So, on a 6, it blows up in the Orcs' faces. It does not blow up. It just kind of crumbles. But it's very dead. Poor Dreadnought. It just got orked. So now they get to consolidate their 3 inches back this way. Yeah, stop falling over. There we go. Well, that's the end of the Orcs' turn. It was very good for the Orcs. They killed many things. Let's check out our cards, see what we scored. Okay. Did we charge with 3 or more units? No. Did we score objective 3? No. Did we kill something with 10 or more wounds? No. Did we assassinate any characters? No, but that is coming right up. So now, for the Grey Knights' 3rd turn, let's see if we can finish this off, because we've got all of 12 minutes left, which is not good. Because, yeah, as soon as we hit the 2-hour mark, we're out of time. Literally. So, Grey Knights, and the game's currently tied, so the Grey Knights are going to go super quick. If they score a point, then we might go into overtime to give the Orcs a chance to score a point. If not, we will just call it a tie. So, moving. Oh, the Grey Knights can score a point fairly effortlessly. Oh, and I lifted the bridge up accidentally. Whoops. At least I didn't drop it. Okay, so let's just move you across. That's a fairly easy charge to make now. Let's move these guys up as well. Oh, that was the thing that the Orcs forgot to... that should have happened in the Orc turn, which we will do now because I want to, and it's my show. That lone little Grey Knight needs to fight with that Deathcopter. Yeah. So Deathcopter's now going to go chop, chop, chop. I think the Deathcopter's got charged, they forgot to as well, but that's way too far back now. Deathcopters getting 2 attacks. It was Orc's turn, so the Deathcopter gets to fight first. Yep, 2 attacks. Ooh. So the Deathcopter's going to fight with spinning blades, so it's literally going to crash the spinny blades of the copter into it. But I get D3 attacks for each one with it. So that gives me 2 D3 attacks. That's 6 attacks. That's nice. Hitting on 3s. 3 hits. Wounding on 4s. No, 3s because it's +1 strength. 3s, that's 2 wounds. Come on, Grey Knight, take your 2 saves. Don't die. It lived. Now the Grey Knight gets to make his incredible 1 attack? Really? I'm being told it's an incredible 1 attack. It's probably right. Strike squads get 1 attack. Purify squads get 1 attack. Well, there's your attack. It missed. Nothing happened there anyway. Okay. So they've moved, staying there. Yeah, why not? Okay, Psychic Phase. This Purifier squad here is going to teleport, whatever it's called. I forget its name. It's going to cast Gate of Affinity on a 5 or higher on its Psychic test. That's a 2. What's this one? That's a 5. That's a pass. So, it's going to Gate of Infinity all the way over to the other side of the table. Do not drop the metal Grey Knights. And they're going to set up over here. Set up 9 inches away from the Weirdboy. Just back here a bit. And yeah, they're going to try and charge the Weirdboy. Is ultimately that plan. Let's fire some more psychic powers. Let's cast... What else do I have to cast? Nope, he's Gate of Infinity. Let's use the last of the Interceptors to cast Vortex of Doom. That sounds terrifying. Vortex of Doom. So I need a 7 or higher to cast it. That's a 6. I'm going to command point that 2. It's still a 2. It's not happening. The Orks have not used their command points, but the Grey Knight player in me is remembering to use command points, even though the Orks have a lot of them. And they're not using them, which is silly. Other than that, we have a 3-inch smite, which is pointless. Oh, let's use the Dread Knight to cast smite on that truck. It's off. It's doing 1 wound. The Orks are going to try and contest it. The Orks fail to contest it. Down to 2 wound on the trucks, because there was a Weirdboy. Okay? So, now, shooting phase. These Grey Knight Purifiers are going to shoot at the Weirdboy. Hitting on 3s with rapid firing storm bolters. And they're going to do boltery things. Toughness of a Weirdboy is probably 4. It is 4, so 4's to wound. That was terrible. But the Weirdboy has a 6-up save. And it saved 1, so that's only 2 wounds against the Weirdboy. Putting him down to 2 wounds. So at least he's almost dead, I suppose. Okie dokie. Let's fire the Dread Knight. Dread Knight is going to fire at the truck. Let's just finish that truck off. And if the truck survives, that's sad. Once again, green are the Scatling Silencer. We need 2s, well, 3s because it moved to hit. That's some good shooting. And now I need... Toughness was 6. Strength 6. Oh, strength 4 on the silencer, so 5s for the silence, and 3s for the psi cannon. Okie dokie. Silencer did nothing. Psi cannon did 4. The truck is in trouble because the psi cannon ones are AP minus something. Yeah, minus 1 AP. So it has 5 up save. Let's see if it lives. Failed 3. So that's 3. 6. It's dead. Does it explode? Ooh, does it explode on a 4 or a 6 truck? So it might go boom. And everyone loves trucks going boom. Where's the truck page? Truck. No, it blows on a 6. So it does not explode. It just crashes and blah. Dead truck. And its wheel fell off, so that's suitable. Okie dokie. Well, that puts us pretty much out of time, so we're not going to do Ork turn 3. Although, that being said, the Orks are going to struggle to get past the Dread Knight. I'm going to grab that camera. Yeah, the Orks are going to struggle to get past the Dread Knights, so... Actually, no. They've got a squad here, so they would probably score that fairly easily. And they'd be able to get there. The Dread Knight would probably counter, and would probably kill quite a few boys. So, good luck getting objective 3. They're not going to get Big Game Hunter at this point. They just don't have the manpower left to be able to take down that Dread Knight. Given that it fairly effortlessly munches through boys. So, I mean, that's overwhelming firepower and Big Game Hunter. So that's 3 points to the Grey Knights. The Grey Knights would probably get Assassinate fairly soon as well, because there's not much to stop the Dreadnought going through to the boss. Although he probably would do a bit of damage to the Dread Knight, but I don't think the boss would destroy it. So we're going to call it, and given how much is left, I don't see them getting 3 charges in a single turn. Here we go. Skewer objective 3, maybe. Big Game Hunter, unlikely. And Assassinate, I mean, they could probably score Assassinate on the Apothecary, but that's about it. So I'm going to call it a Grey Knight victory because we're literally out of time. We're now in overtime. So good game, me. Yeah, just turn this camera around and turn this light up here so I can see. So let us know what you think in the comment section. The chat's about to disappear because it's live in about a couple of minutes because we're literally out of time. Do you like it? Do you have any this format to make it better? And don't say edit it because I literally don't have time at the moment. Maybe doing some edited battle reports, but grain of salt. You want to improve your wargaming, make your tabletop battles more epic, and wargaming budget more powerful. Smash the bell, that way you see when we go live. And I mean, if you like 3D and terrain and you want more awesome terrain, check out the Terrain Vault. It's amazing. It's cheap. It's great. They're quality files that are designed with printing, opposed to a lot of which are just ripping games and are not very printable. the number of files I've downloaded things to try and print, and they have not printed very well at all, is about 4 of the ones that I've tried and then I gave up. So make sure you do all those things, and we will see you next time.